Hey guys, Civilord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse Wal-Mart exclusive Vintage Collection Manitoms, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel, as well as my good buddy Tee Bizz. Shout out to Tee Bizz as usual. We'll leave a link in the description below to his channel so you can go and leave stupid comments on his videos. Part of me actually condones that. Part of me doesn't. But it is what it is, I'm afraid. That said, got this guy in a recent trade I did with the man, which I have to say, probably going to be our last trade. Nothing against him, but I can't afford to keep trading with people at this current time. You know, there are a few that I still have deals to wrap up with, but as far as doing trades with new people, that is currently not on the table. And if you'd like to know what I sent him, I'm sure he's got a video on his channel showcasing the stuff I sent him. Gotta say, a lot of Gucci stuff in that there box. Probably the best packed box I've ever sent, too. Probably should have had the old man fart in it just to offset that a little bit. But, fart jokes aside, why don't we cut right to the chase and take a look-see at all Man-at-Arms has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of alternate hands. Get one fist and one open hand. Really wish they just gave us two fists, because these open hands are really lame. So, that is that. We, of course, get his iconic mace, which you can pop the end off and swap this chain-linked mace onto, which I'm curious if that fits on the new Eternia version, because I like the actual chain here. Granted, it ain't the best chain ever. It does have a tendency to get stuck once in a while, kind of like the Michelangelo chains from the Turtles of Grayskull, as well as I think the Skeletor had a tendency to have sticky, icky, ew chains. But there it is with the regular topper back on it. And he also comes with a dagger. Not a sword, this is a dagger, clearly. You know how tiny that thing is. More like a shank. Said, taking a closer look at Man-at-Arms, his only other accessory you could say is his helmet, which does come off, and it appears that he has slick back hair, maybe? I'm not sure. Vaguely in the shape of his helmet. So that is interesting. But I'm going to leave this on because he just looks weird without it. It does kind of wiggle on there. Something the new Eternia version does not do. So I don't know what's up with that. I even heated this and warped it a little bit to keep it from bobbling as much. But maybe I need to just pop the head off and form fit the helmet better to it. Push this front piece down. And then it won't wiggle, 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 wiggle and work out as much. That said, he does have a little teeny tiny weapons rack on his back, which has an odd way of tabbing in. It kind of like tabs in and pushes down, which is different, I will say. But as far as his articulation goes, his head will look side to side, look up and down a little bit. Kind of hindered with all this stuff going on. Shoulders will pop out. Back down, they'll rotate all the way around. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow. Works fine. Didn't have to heat this guy up too much. I only had to heat up the ankles. But you can straighten that out. He does have the correct hinge for holding stuff on this hand, but not on the other hand. He also has a diaphragm joint that will tilt forward and back and side to side, but it will not rotate. It is the old antiquated torso, which is very weird. I don't know why they go back to that every so often. But I guess with Chronicles, they ain't ever going back. So, you know, don't get used to it, I guess. He's got a waist twist. He's got the freaking drop-down hips. My least favorite joint on figures nowadays. And not the tightest hips, but they're not loose. They're pretty smooth. So they do kick out. They kick forward and back. That's fine. He's got a thigh cut. That's fine. Double jointed knee. That works okay. And then he does have a boot cut with a hinge in the foot. This foot moves a lot better than the other one. And he does have a rocker joint with peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So not a bad figure. These armor pieces are pretty solid on the arm. They actually stay where you want them to stay. Up top, why don't we put his weapons on his back here. Really tight clip on that one. Then we have the sword, or the dagger, excuse me. And now, your Duncan, or Dunkey, as Skeletor called him in Revelation, is ready to rock. Not a bad figure, but not great either, so I don't get what all the hype is about, but I will say, I am happy to have him at least, and I didn't have to overpay. I just had to trade a Thundercats Classics from Mattel for it, which those don't go for a lot of money anyway, so it is what it is. So, with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here we have good old vintage collection Man-at-Arms alongside his new Eternia counterpart, which, if you ask me, aside from the weaponry, is superior in every way. We get swappable head with the mustache, the cool concept style helmet. The articulation scheme is a little better, but if you're not that big on articulation, I could see how that's not a deal breaker for you. But all around, I like the new Eternia line a lot more than this vintage collection line. It just seems antiquated for no reason. That said, one character from this vintage collection line that's not antiquated that we will be taking a look at tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, is good old Stratos, the King of Arion, who does not have an outdated torso. Explain that! These guys come out in the same wave, and the only thing outdated with Stratos is his weird sneaker feet. Okay, I guess. Getting these two out of the way. So we can make way for our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith, right here, and the infamous Beloved Spawn, who is about neck and neck with old Donkey here. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while I am, for the most part, pretty happy with good old vintage collection Man-at-Arms here, I have to say the fact that the fine folks over at Mattel literally went backwards to the antiquated torso articulation, much like they did with the vintage collection Skeletor, is baffling to me. I'm not an articulation guy, but the newer torso from Masterverse is a superior design all day, every day, 7 days a week. So it's weird that they keep going back to the days of old, you know, the Revelation days. Other than that, I would say this is a pretty solid Man-at-Arms if you missed out on the new Eternia version, but if you got that one, I would say that's good enough. The only major upgrade this guy has to offer is the mace having a real chain. Well, not a real chain, but an actual linked chain instead of a pre-posed piece. And the little dagger is nice to have. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.